Get in on the action this season with Underdog's Pick'em game. Select higher or lower between 2 and 8 players and compete for up to 325 times your entry. Use code DIRECTOR when signing up to receive up to $1,000 in bonus cash and a free pick. Yo, to Bowl fam, it's the Director. Chargers fans, we are yet another day closer to the highly anticipated, coveted, even feared NFL draft coming up this month, man. Hey, what are we at this point? Right about 2-3 weeks? Oh, baby. It's almost go time, man. We got a lot of players to catch up on until then. Some players that we have made known in the first round. I think I've firmly planted my flag on some players that I would be extremely happy with the Chargers taking at 22. Now it's time for us to venture into, I'm not going to say uncharted territory, but certainly less charted territory of rounds 2 through 7. Today we're going to be focusing on day 2 picks that I think would be awesome selections by the Chargers, pretty much any team at this point. All of these players I'm about to list in this video, studs. I wouldn't say sleeper territory yet because everybody knows they're very decent, good players, hence them being selected in the 2nd and 3rd rounds. But these are very good players that I personally am very high on, that especially in this situation with Jim Harbaugh and the coordinators being who they are, and the situation in terms of, Joe Ortiz just being this draft wizard last season. These are all guys that I think are going to perform very well if the Chargers were to select him in the 2nd or 3rd rounds. You guys in the comments, please, as we follow along, let me know some of your favorite day 2 players for us to look into and to continue integrating into our mock drafts on Mondays. Hard to believe we only have 2 or 3 of those left before the actual NFL draft. Now, before we do get into things, man, shout out to the sponsor, Underdog. Use code DIRECTOR to receive up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Newcomers, take advantage of the free pick on screen. This is a great way to have a whole lot of fun enjoying your favorite sports while also supporting, hopefully, your favorite Chargers YouTuber along the way. Before we do kick things off, hit us up with a like and sub if you do enjoy this Chargers content. The small amount of time you guys take to like, sub, bell notification helps me out a lot. Let's get into it. Lights, camera, action.
Who's got it better than us?
Into the end zone, Charger fans are witnesses to history.
The Directors, day 2 studs that the Chargers should be targeting in the 2025 NFL draft. Let's kick things off. I'm going to actually go by position, not in order, but certainly together, since we're not confused and keep, the party going a little longer with each position. We're going to start at wide receiver. Seeing as this wide receiver class, actually not too bad. I'm not going to say it's anywhere near as good as previous classes at the top. There's certainly still some good wide receivers that you can find in the first round. Ted McMillan, exceptional talent. Matthew Golden is really growing on me. Amika Buka, certainly guys that are all going to be selected in the first round, you would have to imagine. But there are a good number of guys, I would say, in rounds 2 through 3, even some later round guys that are very much so worth taking a shot on and could be difference makers this season. Starting off with Jaden Higgins, wide receiver out of Iowa State. You're going to see some talk about this guy. No relation to T. Higgins, who is a hot topic at Chargers, YouTubers and beat writers and podcasters all over the world this last couple of months, but definitely can play similar to a T. Higgins, which is very interesting. And it's really something that the Chargers desperately need opposite of Ladd McConkey. McConkey having the freedom to play inside, outside, wherever. Also very important, a very important detail that sometimes gets lost, in the shuffle there. Higgins would really allow McConkey to shine where he really operates best, and I'm going to say most of that's probably in the slot, while also providing some solid value to Justin Herbert with a really consistent, reliable target on the outside that is Jaden Higgins. He screams big potential anywhere he goes. He's a great route runner, excellent hands, really feels like a secure wide receiver that a lot of quarterbacks are going to fall in love with, but while also carrying the traits of being a big physical dude. I think he's like 6'4". He can definitely separate. He has a pretty nice route tree behind him too. An excellent complement to Ladd McConkey, one that would give us the flavor of a T. Higgins without the price tag. I feel very confident that if the Chargers were to walk away in round 2, where we're projecting Jaden Higgins, people would be very excited. It would work out beautifully in what the Chargers are looking for a number 2 wide receiver in this offense. And I think that's where this class of wide receiver does benefit the Chargers in particular. We're not really looking for a wide receiver 1. We got that in Ladd McConkey. Ladd McConkey would be a mid-first round pick this season. We absolutely smashed it last year. He had an awesome rookie year. Now we're looking for a complement receiver, in which this draft does carry some nice potential, especially in the first 3 or 4 rounds, to complement a guy and free up a guy like Ladd McConkey. Another guy that would excellently fit into the Chargers offense as a number 2 wide receiver is Jack Besh, wide receiver out of TCU. Excellent option if the Chargers want a sure-handed receiver to give Justin Herbert the security that maybe he's been lacking this last season, without, Keenan Allen and the move and the shifty or the shiftness of the wide receivers and all the weapons. It's been a little bit difficult to gain some traction and security. Jack Besh brings it, man. This is a dude that a 1 drop on 91 targets is absolutely insane. He's got strong physical hands, and that's really what his game is. Strong, physical, intimidating. He's got the nice size behind him. He's 6'2" or 6'3". He definitely likes to play hard-nosed football. Great blocker. He can play outside, inside, where primarily with the Chargers, you'd have to imagine he's an outside receiver. Very good against zone. He knows how to get open. And that security is something that, again, you mix in with Ladd McConkey. Now you got, Mike Williams on the outside. Maybe it does provide a little flex for guys like Jack Besh or Jaden Higgins to play slot a little bit. This is definitely the kind of guy that I want running opposite Ladd McConkey, and it feels like something that, again, Justin Herbert is lacking 2 big things right now from a complete wide receiver room, and that's hands and speed. Sure, Jack Besh isn't the fastest guy out there. He's certainly not slow, but he does provide the hands that you desperately need. And again, Ladd McConkey has plenty of speed on him too. Feels like the kind of wide receiver the Chargers really are looking for to match up with Ladd McConkey. Next up, we'll go a little faster here because I'm getting a little caught up on some of these prospects. We got Trey Harris, wide receiver out of Ole Miss. This is, again, you guys are kind of seeing a theme here, right? I mean, you can still find some nice speedy wideouts, none as complete as a Matthew Golden in the first round. But really, these bigger guys, the Chargers, who kind of want that X receiver of the future, an outside receiver of the future, there's a few options, especially in the 2nd and 3rd round. Trey Harris is another really good option for that. Now, maybe he's more of a big slot type of player, but really his physicality, his hands, which once again, another player that's not going to drop the football, it really does help you provide more of that Mike Williams-esque, help on the outside. Of course, not anywhere near Mike Williams, but at the same time does provide that freedom for Ladd McConkey at the outside. He does need to work on his route tree. But I do believe that he's going to be a really nice player at the next level. And again, when you're not asking him to be a wide receiver, 1 or even a wide receiver 2 right away, you feel like a guy like Trey Harris could really pop. And that's the case for all of these guys. I feel like all these guys, big, physical, mean wide receivers that can offer help on the outside, really does fit what the Chargers are trying to build. And then, hey, maybe you can find some speed a little later down the road. There are some guys worth taking a shot on, like Isaiah Bond, that we might talk about in another video. That maybe doesn't have as complete of a game around him, but definitely has the speed. These guys will help free him up on the outside. All right, let's move on to the tight end position. One guy that I'm increasingly hyping up and getting more excited about is the potential of Mason Taylor joining the Los Angeles Chargers as that next vertical threat tight end, which we sorely lack right now. There are a lot of positions that the Chargers got to get right, and I feel like we did a good job at filling these positions where we're not desperate, but we still want that upgrade, that guy of the future. In the case of tight end, we got Tyler Conklin in the building. Imagine, passes being caught by Conklin and McConkey. It'd be great, man. But adding another guy like Mason Taylor to the fold at a position that does need a little bit of time to develop, you still have Tyler Conklin in there for the next year or two, really does bring a lot of excitement to what we would get in terms of a weapon, a vertical weapon, a physical weapon, who's also, again, NFL royalty, anybody, the son of Jason Taylor, feels like he does have everything working for him to become the next big thing at tight end. You see it every single season, these mid-round guys, these second, third, fourth round guys popping off at the position. A lot of the early guys too, you'll see some production out of them. You do see some good some nice ceilings and floors and all that kind of stuff, but it's funny that usually the second, third, fourth round tight ends are the ones that pop. And Mason Taylor just kind of feels like one of those guys, man. He's going to grow into an excellent weapon. He's still very young. He's got a lot of room to grow. And being able to work his way into the NFL with, Tyler Conklin and Justin Herbert would really benefit him. So I do think that this could be the next big weapon at tight end, and Mason Taylor would be an excellent selection for the Chargers. I'm going to say here in the second round, maybe you get lucky and find him in the third, but Mason Taylor should be an awesome option for anybody looking for a tight end at this point. Another guy that kind of breaks all the rules when it comes to, how good is this guy in terms of his physicality, his attributes, I should say, and how does that translate to his game? Harold Fannin Jr., tight end out of Bowling Green. I really don't know how this guy does it, man. Like, you take a look at his measurables. He's not the biggest tight end in the world. He's not the fastest tight end in the world. As a matter of fact, he's underwhelming. He's like 6'3", I think. He definitely did not run a nice 40 for his size. I think it was somewhere in the 4.7. It would probably be 4.71, so low 4.7s. But still, you would expect a guy of a smaller stature to be more athletic, in which Harold Fannin is not. These things that work against him don't seem to hold him back, however. This dude produced 1,555 yards at Bowling Green, 10 touchdowns just this last season. All of this just last season. He just makes plays, man. I can't explain it. He just simply makes it happen. He gets open. He has excellent hands. Despite all the shortcomings physically, he really does find a way to produce. And that's why I think Harold Fannin could end up being one of the steals of this draft if you're able to find him in the third round, which, is possible because he's not physically, as big of a get as all these other tight ends that we're seeing. But I think he could just simply produce. So Harold Fannin, man, I mean, I don't know. The more I'm watching him, the more I'm getting excited about the idea of him coming to the Chargers. All right. And then lastly, and this is kind of becoming a my guy. I haven't declared any my guys yet, but this certainly feels like a my guy in the making right here. Gunnar Helm, tight end out of Texas. I just started kind of watching this guy a couple of weeks ago. I added him to my mock draft earlier this week, if you guys will recall. And man, I'm slowly, or I should say very quickly, becoming excited to the thought of him joining the Bolts, man. He feels like one of those very well-rounded players that fits what you're trying to build on this particular offense. He cannot go wrong in terms of what you're looking for in any aspect of the tight end position. Sure, he's not this big, huge, flashy player, but he's really, really consistent at being a well-rounded, reliable player. And he does have one place where he shines, we'll say here in just a second, but, very well-rounded. He's a solid receiver. He's a very solid blocker. Not the best blocker in this class. There's a couple of guys that if you're looking for a blocking tight end, there's like 2 or 3 really good tight ends in this class to be drafting. But if you want like a nice middle ground where he's like, hey man, this is a damn good pass catcher, this is a damn good blocker, very consistent, at that. I mean, Gunnar Helm kind of feels like the dude, kind of feels a little bit like, maybe it's a bad comp, but like a Hunter Henry, if you're looking for someone similar from the Chargers history, this guy, like, he can kind of do it all, man. And he feels like a really nice option for Justin Herbert. And if you're looking for the wow factor from Gunnar Helm, I mean, watch his highlights. If anything, this dude is a yak monster. Like, if you want the one thing that really does pop off the page for Gunnar Helm, it's his yak ability. This dude will make moves. He will break tackles. He'll hurdle. He loves to hurdle. He'll stiff arm. He just finds a way to get, a consistent 3-4 yards extra on top. And he's quickly becoming one of my favorite prospects to come to the Chargers, and one that you're probably going to be able to find in the third round in this year's draft. So Gunnar Helm, man, I'd be very happy with that selection. Again, these guys being Integrated at the tight end position with Tyler Conklin certainly helps my confidence if we do miss out on a Colston Loveland or Tyler Warren, if that were to be the case. These guys feel like really, really good options to grow with the offense over the next year or two. All right, let's move on to the running back position. Won't spend too long on this because we have talked your ears off on running back this year. I think I may have done a whole video just on the running backs because this is an exceptional class. Like, of the positions that are just so impressive from this year, it's going to be running back and defensive line. There's a defensive tackle. And man, do the running back shine this season. And I would be honestly really shocked if the Chargers did not get a running back in the first 3 rounds. Luckily, if they don't, there's still a really good number of running backs you can find up until, I'm going to say, like round 5 or 6 even. I don't know, man. It just feels like that kind of class. We got really lucky last season with getting Ladd McConkey with a really good wide receiver class. He would be a first-round pick this year. A lot of these guys would be first-round picks next year, second-round picks next year. It's very, very exciting to think about the idea of the Chargers getting a running back of the future to pair up with the running back of the now and Najee Harris. So with that explanation out of the way, Caleb Johnson, one of my favorite prospects for the Chargers to target in the second round, if he's even available at that point. A lot of these guys, so talented, but something's got to fall. With the number of running backs available, you're going to see one of these names available to the Chargers at 22. It's very likely, in my opinion. Maybe not super likely, but you would have to think something's going to fall to him with this many of them available. Caleb Johnson would be one I'm very excited to see drafted at 55 in the second round for the Chargers. Similar to Derrick Henry, very, very powerful running back, and that's going to carry him far in this league. You get a nice power back. Maybe not to the degree of a Derrick Henry, but definitely to the style of a Derrick Henry. It feels like that's going to work out for you, especially if you're playing for the Chargers, who are building up a team to feature a talent like this at the position. It feels like a really nice get in the second round, man. Very fast. He's got nice footwork, especially for his size, man. He's a lot more agile and speedy than you would expect for a guy from his size. Now, he does need to work on his passing game a little bit, his receiving, his blocking. But this simply feels like a Charger. Again, feels a little redundant to have him and Najee Harris on the team at the same time. But this is your running back of the future, and you're going to have one heck of a 1-2 punch at running back. Maybe you need to get another guy like Kamani Vidal in on third downs if you have to. But Caleb Johnson would be one heck of a running back to build around for your future. The other running backs, we'll say both of them. I'm going to say Quinshon Judkins and Trevion Henderson are 2 guys. If either one of these dogs are available at the Chargers at the second round, like, my goodness, would I be jumping with joy. These guys are absolutely so impressive and would both fit beautifully on the Chargers as the feature back of the future, even of the now. Like, you're looking for a guy that can really complement Najee Harris right now. It feels like you really can't go wrong with either one of the Ohio State guys, man. Quinshon Judkins, very powerful, kind of similar to Caleb Johnson in some ways. A nice power back, but this one can catch. this power back can catch. He's got some nice, aspects of his game in the passing game. He's a decent blocker, but he's got great speed, toughness, balance. Very reliable third down skill set. Like, it feels like Quinshon Judkins to me, maybe my preferred running back in the second round. But any of these guys, man, it's so close. All of them are so good. It would be tough to make me upset about drafting any of these guys. And then Trevion Henderson, the Flash, right? Very fast. His acceleration is ridiculous. His agility is ridiculous. This dude can move. A great receiving back, soft hands for the position. He can house it from pretty much anywhere on the field. He's a fantastic football player. Maybe he does lack the physicality of the previous 2 players that we talked about, but this is a football player right here, man. This is a very fast home run hitting running back that the Chargers, again, would add a nice layer to what they have now on the roster. So any of those 3 guys, I would be ecstatic. And there's way more running backs that I would be so happy to draft. Cam Scattaboo, Devin Neal, what's the guy out of Rutgers? A whole bunch of running backs that are just absolutely insane this year that I think the Chargers, I would be very, very shocked if we walked away without at least one drafted from this class. All right. Now, moving on, a couple of guys to mention at the offensive line. Donovan Jackson is a guy that I'm slowly starting to grow on here. Listed at tackle, but does play guard. I think a majority of guard, right? He was moved late to tackle this season. due to need, played very well there, but this is a very well-rounded guard. Excellent footwork, power, consistency. A guy that, again, really does check a lot of boxes for what the Chargers are looking for at the position and would add solid competition to a guy like Zion Johnson on the left side. Donovan Jackson, sleeper, I think could be a nice pickup in the second or third round for any football team. If you need a tackle, guard, whatever, Donovan Jackson kind of feels like a nice name to target in the second day. And then also a guy that we've mentioned a few times on the channel already, Tate Ratledge, feels like a Charger. Is a nasty, powerful guard who can play center if you wanted to develop him there. Just so nasty and great in the run game. Would be very excited to see either one of those guys to the Bolts. Now moving on to defense, let's talk a little bit about corner. Corner is going to be a very interesting position for the Chargers going forward, as long as we have Jesse Minter, which we're hoping is for a while at least, right? Next, give me another 2 or 3 years, Jesse Minter, I'll be happy. Although at the rate he's playing, I'm not sure if that's going to happen. But the reason I say that is because we saw the result of what he was able to do with some mid-round corners last year in Tarheeb Still and Cam Hart. My goodness, did those guys pop off. Where does that put the need to draft the cornerback position on their list of potential selections? I don't know. All I know is that if he did this well with mid-rounders last season, imagine if we invested a day 2 pick this year, or even a day 1 pick this year. But we're going to start here with Siobhan Revel, cornerback out of East Carolina. This dude, man, okay, there is some risk. I will say right off the bat, he's coming off an ACL injury, which is very risky, right? But the trade-off is insane, dude. This is a 6'3", extremely explosive, agile, fast, will rock your socks off sort of, hard-hitting cornerback. Like, my goodness, is this like, I cannot believe I didn't look into this guy. I think maybe I decided to look at him later because of the ACL, but I just got around to really looking up what he can do, what his profile looks like, and holy crap, is Siobhan Revel an impressive cornerback. Very physical, great run defender. He's a bully in press coverage. This dude rocks. That's all I gotta say, man. 6'3", explosive, agile, tough as nails. I don't know. This guy feels like a real Jesse Minter, Jim Harbaugh, Los Angeles Charger type football player. I would be very happy if we selected him in the second round. And again, he would have to maybe be eased in a little bit, but with Jesse Minter, just imagine all of that developed behind what the Chargers did last season. Sky's the limit, man. The next guy I'll say at the cornerback position to maybe target in the third round, Azrae Thomas, cornerback, FSU. FSU not really living up to their reputation this year, but they did have a couple of players. I think I had one more guy on this list that I was kind of looking at. Thomas is a guy that I think, again, fits more of what Jesse Minter could mold a player into being a decent starter in the league. You could probably find him in the third round this year, and maybe could even play right off. If we need somebody now, I think he's more than capable, because another big physical corner. I think he's 6 foot or 6'1". Got some nice size to him. He's a good blitzer. He's got a high processor and zone. He's great in man coverage. He's got excellent instincts. And maybe, it does feel a little bit raw, but, we've seen a lot of proof that that's something that we can remedy with Jesse Minter on this defense. So Thomas, another guy I think that I would be very happy with in the second or third round if the Chargers decided to go that way. Maybe more of a third rounder. With how much that he needs to develop, but I think he could start this year and he would find some success. On defensive line, now there's some guys that I think honestly the Chargers could target a little higher. I think both these guys maybe more of third round picks, but I just wanted to kind of show the depth of what this position can offer. Very similar to the running backs that we listed. Defensive line's got some really nice names that you can find in the third round. Alfred Collins, defensive lineman out of Texas, strong, versatile, can play really anywhere, and he's big and violent. Like, man, you gotta go take a look at this guy, man. He's actually really consistently disruptive, and that's what I really like about him. He's well built. He feels like he fits the criteria of what we're looking for in the interior, but also very, very disruptive. Excellent run defender. He's got potential to grow, his pass rushing skill set a little bit, but he already offers a lot in terms of what you want from a rotational guy, and honestly, I feel like he could develop into a solid starter in the next year or two. So Alfred Collins, a name to look for late, or I should say in the third round. Joshua Farmer, another guy that I feel like brings that physicality that you're looking for, right? He's raw, but he really does have the tools to excel. He's explosive, big, great in the run game. Does need development, but again, he's another guy that I wouldn't mind rotating in this year and kind of seeing what happens. All right. And lastly, the last position I'll say the Chargers in particular need is edge. And a couple of guys that I think really pop off the page for me. Jared Ivey, edge out of Ole Miss. This dude's huge. He's like, I think 6'6", somewhere around there. Massive human being. But also very powerful. There's a few guys like this year. Shamar Stewart, another one if you're willing to go in the first round-ish. You know, Jared Ivey, the next guy we're going to talk about as well. These big, powerful edge defenders that are really just, I don't know, Charger-like. It really fits like what the Chargers are trying to be, this big, physical, intimidating team. And this is a guy that, again, very strong, powerful edge guy. Excellent versus the run. He's nasty. He's huge, 6'6". His strength is ridiculous. His size to strength is actually stupid impressive. Very imposing. Maybe lacks a little bit of speed, but my goodness, like put him in at, interior at defensive end in a 3-4, right? And just see what happens. I think him lining up next to Tooley or Mack would be just so impressive. So Jared Ivey, another one to look out for. And one that I did mention, I think in my last mock draft as well, Elijah Roberts. What is this? The Chargers just signed Trey Lance, quarterback. Okay, interesting. I guess live coverage here. Interesting. I don't even know. I'm gonna have to give that one some thought. We already have Taylor Heineke, right? I don't know. We'll have to see. I'll let that one settle here for a minute. Elijah Roberts is going to be my last player on this list. Edge at SMU, very explosive. Great size, speed, another very strong edge player, like we mentioned with Ivy and Stewart. These are nice, versatile weapons. I think Ivy can do the same thing. These guys can line up pretty much anywhere you need on that line. All these guys do need some development, but great foundations to work with, and honestly, just really, really good bets to make if you're looking for a guy of the future past the Khalil Mack days, etc. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me. This has been The Director. I'm going to take a look at this Trey Lance news. Let me know if there's some guys in the second day range that you're looking at as like my guys. I'm hesitant to like throw a my guy flag on any of these dudes yet. I feel like Gunnar Helm is getting there for me. Quinshawn Judkins really does feel like in that range. And this Siobhan Revel guy, my goodness, did he come out of nowhere for me? He looks awesome. So I'm starting to develop some my guys. But you guys let me know some of my guys that are starting to rise for you. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me. This has been The Director. If you like what you saw here, hit us up with a like and sub on your way out. We'll see you next time. And as always, bolt up and stay frosty. Dude, give me a running back. Give me a running back in the second round. I know it seems high right now, but my goodness, they're so good this season. I got to see one.